what's going on, good people, man. I feel like it's been a long time since we've seen the people.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, we are back here in the area, man. Look, as you already know, man, my name is Ivan Tosin, Certified Peer Support Specialist here at Capital Area Human Services. Today, look, we got a special episode. This is very rare. We have the executive. Hold on. Let me say it again. We have the executive director of Capital Area Human Services sitting right here, and she's going to be live on this podcast. Come on, man. Y'all give it up for Dr. Jan Laughinghouse, man.
Thanks, Ivan. Thank you. Ivan is like the world's best hype man, so I feel like I owe him some money for that. All right, let's get.
I'm going to bring that DMX out of it before it's over with. Like, y'all don't know
Please don't. That's an inside joke. Please don't.
All right, man. So, look, as some of you may know or may not know, look, the month of September is National Recovery Month. Did I say that right?
National Recovery Month.
I did.
Absolutely.
Okay, awesome. So look, today we just want to chop it up a little bit. We're going to talk about a few things, but of course everything is really going to be based around recovery in the work we do here at Capital Area Human Services District.
Yes. Sounds good.
All right. So let's
Ready
get to rolling. Yeah, so look, if y'all hear a little noise in the background, you see some people passing, look, it's all good. We are here in our office space, so there's some traffic, there's things going on. Just don't mind that. We're in the office. It is what it is. People
That's
working, right?
Yeah, like
9
this
to
is
5.
real life.
It's real life. Yeah, that way. All right, so look, let's get in this thing. So first, Dr. Jan, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. Happy Friday. I hope everybody is doing good too.
Awesome. So if we can, before we start getting into the good recovery stuff, let's just play like somebody seeing this for the first time. They don't know who you are.
Yes.
Let them know who you are.
My name is Jan Laughinghouse. I am a licensed clinical social worker and a licensed addiction counselor. I am the executive director here at Capital Area Human Services. Capital Area is the legislative authority on mental health, addictive disorders, and developmental disabilities and prevention services in our 7-parish region here, Region 2. There are 9 other regions in the state. Capital Area is Region 2. We serve East and West Baton Rouge, East and West Feliciana, Ascension, Iberville, and Point Coupee.
Wow. Mm-hmm. How long did it take you to memorize all that, Dr. Jan?
Quite a little bit. Because I've only been doing this since March of 2020.
That's what I'm saying. Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. All right, so cool. Look, so let's go ahead and start diving in. Once again, this is National Recovery Month, so we would definitely want to start talking about recovery, all things recovery, right?
Yes.
And you have been in the field for some time.
1998.
All right, I wasn't gonna ask you, but hey, so she said it. 98. I graduated. No, I got expelled in 99. Ooh, my bad. Anyways, another story for another day.
Yes,
We're
it
gonna
is.
Roll on. So, but can you talk a little bit about how you got started in addictions, working with people in recovery, or working towards recovery, however you want to put that? But kind of give us a little bit of your background and
Absolutely.
how you kind of came into the field.
Absolutely. I fell into it accidentally, actually, Ivan. When I went back to school to get my master's degree in social work, I already knew my path. Everything up to that point had been working with mothers and their children, and I was going to continue that. And so I'm from North Carolina. So in Greensboro, North Carolina, I had been given a placement, like an internship at a place called Women's Hospital. I know here it's Women's. In Greensboro, North Carolina, it's Women's Hospital.
Interesting.
And yeah, Women's Hospital. And so I was going to work there, and I was going to work in a mother-baby unit, and it was just everything I had done and how I was going to. That was my career trajectory, working with women and children. I had worked for Head Start, Even Start, Smart Start, every kind of start you could think of before I got there, and I was prepared to go there. But it's just like the old song that says, life is what happens to you while you're busy making plans. See, I was making plans to work with mothers and babies, and I called up to see who I was supposed to meet when I showed up for my internship, and someone very rudely on the other end of the phone said, "Oh, she quit. We don't have anybody to help you." And I was like, hello? hello, and she was gone.
Uh-huh.
And so I went back, and they got me a last minute placement at the at Veterans Administration. And so I had to work at the VA, and I worked with this very, very dynamic woman named Deborah Lee. And Deborah actually worked in the homeless veterans program. And many of the veterans there who were experiencing homelessness had mental illness and substance use disorders. And that's how I was first introduced to working with people with substance use disorders. I was very upset and bitter when they first placed me because I had no interest whatsoever. But over time, I developed a love for the people and the work, and I learned a lot from Deborah, who had been doing addictions. She had forgotten more addictions than she taught me. And once, I was living in abject poverty because I was a graduate student, and there was a place in Greensboro, North Carolina called Mary's House. And it was a residential facility for women who were formerly homeless and who had addiction issues, and they can bring their children to come and live with them there. My professor did contract work there. They were looking for people, and she said, Jan, this was back in 1999.
All right.
She was like, Jan, you can get paid, and I think they were paying something like $10 or $11 an hour, and I was making zero, and that was a lot of money back to me. And hey, come on! And I was like, yeah, I'll go. And it just really cemented my love for the population, and I came to hate the disease because I saw all the bright and beautiful and resourceful and intelligent and wonderful people that it just robbed life from.
Yes,
and then I became a community advocate as well.
Wow.
And so here I am with a great love for the field of addictive disorders and a great advocate and champion for those in recovery.
Wow, amazing story. I want to ask another question, but before I ask that, you're from North Carolina. You know the baby?
I do not.
Packing the baby.
Listen. I will tell you this: that I taught little baby social workers in North Carolina, and right before
the baby.
Yes, I know that. I'm going somewhere with this.
Oh, my bad.
I'm going somewhere with this.
Stop.
Like as you will say, Ivan, I'll land the plane in just a second. So I taught little baby social workers. When they found that I was moving to Louisiana in 2014, they said to me, Dr. L, please tell Lil Boosie hi. I said, I don't know who that is. The man could walk up and assault me, and I would not be able to describe him to the cops, so y'all gonna have to tell me. So I went to research because I love my little baby Bennett Bells, so that I knew who Lil Boosie was. So if I ever came across him, I could tell him hello from the Bennett Bells in North Carolina. So that's just a little aside. So no, I think the baby, he got big after I was already here. So I've been living here since 2014, so he happened after that.
I got you. So, but speaking of that, so I've kind of seen you in action in some ways. So, and more so, just engaging with many clients around Capital Area Human Services, right? And you have a side to you that probably most people don't know.
My clients do.
Their clients do, but it gives you some relatability. It gives you a way to. I don't want to say bait people in, but it's like you got to speak people's language.
Absolutely.
To be able to attract people, to put it in the simplest terms for people to understand, to give it to you in a way that you can understand it. Where does that come from with you? Like, was it experience? Did you grow up around certain things, or was it just culture being in like what is it?
It's a combination of things. First, just personalities. That's why I'm sitting here clowning with you, right? So somebody just my last name is Laughinghouse. I mean, come on. So you just got to be a jolly person. It's typecasting.
Right.
And the other part is that my clients taught me so much. They taught me some. I mean, I was describing. Drug culture and drug life. So I have been asked if I was in personal recovery. I am not, because I have understood the language and what my clients have taught me.
Yeah.
And I have taken that, because one of the things they say in Narcotics Anonymous literature is the therapeutic value of one addict helping another is without parallel.
That's
and
right.
I absolutely believe that.
Yeah.
And so when people in recovery have taught me things, I have taken them with their permission, and always given them them credit for, saying, listen, my clients have taught me this, and this is what they say helps them, but this is a program of suggestion. It's like a buffet. You take what you can use and leave the rest.
That's right.
And so my clients have been very instrumental in shaping my work, because people are the best knowers of themselves.
Yeah.
And so, yes, since 1998, I have seen several people in recovery from addictive disorders, but everybody presents differently.
Yeah.
So there are many roads, but there's one journey.
Yeah.
Everybody's on a journey to recovery, but the way that you get there, your path and everything is different. It's
That's
unique
right.
to you. And I go in treating everybody like a human being. That's
real.
it.
That's
That's
real.
it.
That's good. And from a person in recovery, I will tell you that it's rare to meet people in the field who don't have a background of practicing
Right,
addiction,
right.
if you want to say, to move how you move, And so one of my favorite counselors, who was actually my counselor when I went through treatment, she never touched a drug in her life, but she was one of the best counselors I knew, only because she listened. You know what I'm saying? She worked around men. She worked in corrections. She worked with juveniles. So it was like there's nothing you can get past this lady.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
She
right.
knew all the hiding places where people want to hide stuff. So all of that, because she just seen it all, done it all. So, and been married to people like us
That's
too,
right.
as well.
That's
So
right.
it was like, okay, this is, I don't want to say a piece of cake, but she knew it, you know what I'm saying?
absolutely.
And so, but anyways, so let's go ahead and kind of move on from here, continuing recovery. So here at Capital Area Human Services, we address mental health and substance abuse, other,
Right.
I don't know all of them right now. Methamphetamine,
Yeah.
DD. Look,
DD
we got so
prevention. Yeah, you
we got so
off
much
too.
stuff.
Yeah.
That's right. So, but right now, within, of course, in the world, but definitely in our nation, even in our own backyard, we are having some challenges.
Absolutely.
Let's first start with the pandemic.
Yes.
The pandemic has, I don't even know what to say about it.
It's really for people who had a tenuous grasp on recovery. When they talk about white knuckle recovery, it's really shaking their core foundation. So the things that we do to mitigate the spread of the coronavirus, social distancing, wearing masks, not gathering in large groups, those things are, particularly the gathering and being around folks, those things are actually the opposite of what we tell people in recovery to do. We're always saying stay connected to stay protected.
Yep.
It's all about your support network, your recovery network, and many people's foundations in their recovery have been shaken because they've been so disconnected from other folks. So they're struggling. And also with the pandemic, many people who had never been diagnosed or who had never had any recognizable problems with either their mental health or the use of substances have found themselves to calm down anxiety, to help depression. They've been drinking more, smoking marijuana, doing other things that they did not do and never had a need to do, never had an interest in doing before the pandemic. So it's really, and people, opioid overdoses, just have been off the chart. So we have a real crisis on our hands. And as someone who worked at the VA and have worked with active military as well, one of the things I can tell you is that we never know the cost of war, the true cost of war, until about a decade out. And I'm telling you that right now, what we're sitting on, we're going to see even children being kept out of school. We're going to see the ripples of it for far out. And we in this field have to be prepared to help people, even our first responders, doctors, nurses, teachers, and the person ringing your items at Walmart and your server, and people who are being attacked by trying to enforce mandates and stuff like that. We have to be there for those folks.
Wow. It reminds me of something Miss Matt Green, shout out to Miss Matt Green. Hey, Miss Matt. And so she was saying something very similar, but more in regards to gambling, which is another form of addiction. And how we have yet to see, the impact, and especially because of this time and what's being pushed even in the faces right now during this time.
Absolutely.
Like, I don't know if you've seen it, but I was riding around Baton Rouge. There was this billboard I kept seeing, and I thought it was like a music album cover, this black guy, with a bandana. I'm like, oh man, that look dope. I'm like, what that is? What that is? I'm like, okay, yeah. But I keep passing by it so fast that I can't really read it.
Right.
So one day I'm like, I finally saw, I'm like, okay, and I saw Caesar something. I'm like, and I still didn't Google it,
Right.
One day watching TV, so finally a commercial comes up, and I'm like, that's the guy. Same outfit, same everything, and I'm like, this is sports betting.
Oh man. Yeah.
Oh, this is an app that they're pushing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so within the midst, you know what I'm saying, because the likelihood of things going back to the way they were may not be likely. You know
That's
what I'm
right.
saying?
That's right.
But the thing is, people are going to be home a lot. People are behind their phones, and businesses have to pivot. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
And so now we're going to, we got to still get this done. We got to make this money. We got to get this. Let's get everybody on their phones. Let's get
That's
these
right.
out. And so the repercussions of things that we're seeing now is going to be even worse
Yes.
within the next 5 to 10 years.
Yes.
But anyway, I know she was saying something like that, but more in regards to gambling. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
but it still applies because of cross addiction. Many of our
Oh,
clients.
I'm sorry. For the sake of somebody who doesn't know what that is, what is cross addiction?
I'm going to explain. So if a person has an addiction to one drug, they are very likely to pick up other drugs in that class,
All
right?
right.
And so they can use heroin or pain pills or anything like that, or alcohol, because alcohol is a depressant as well. And that's what folks, alcohol is a drug.
It is.
Right? Some folks will say, oh, I drink, but I don't use drugs. Alcohol is a drug, and nicotine is a drug, and caffeine.
Oh, don't say that.
Come on. Caffeine's a drug. Think about it. Caffeine doesn't add flavor, folks.
I am
if you
in
don't
recovery,
think
though.
caffeine is a drug, come on.
I'm in recovery.
Yeah. So if you think caffeine is not a drug, stop having your caffeine and watch the withdrawals happen. Yeah. Anyway.
I feel
what
convicted.
Were we talking about?
I feel so convicted.
Look, and our purpose is just to educate folks. We want folks to be educated, right?
Right.
And so people can have different addictions. And so many times people who come in for substance use disorder can also have compulsive gambling and other types of things that are going on with them. So because it's just the reward reinforcement pathway in the brain has been hijacked. And so whether it's pornography, gambling, or cocaine, it is still all an addictive disorder.
Understand.
So that's why what Miss Matt is talking about actually applies to any type of recovery and what people are going through.
Yes, ma'am. Real quick, Dr. Jen, I'm going to lift your mic up
Sure.
a little
Thank
bit.
you.
There
Want
we
everybody
go.
to be
I
able
don't
to
know
hear
why it
me.
keeps dropping. Y'all give us a second. We're going to stay live, though.
Yes,
We live,
absolutely.
baby. We live.
Absolutely.
Okay.
As my husband can say, improvise, adapt, and overcome. We get ready to do this thing, right?
All right. I think
right.
there we go. All right.
All right.
So, once again, we still staying on the pandemic and recovery. And, oh, Lord, I just had it in my head.
Hurricane Ida recovery?
Not Hurricane Ida.
Okay.
Just still within the midst of the dealing with, pandemic. Oh, my God, I had something great.
It was good too, wasn't it?
It was great. It was awesome. I'm going to just come back to it when I think
Okay.
of it.
Circle back around.
Let's go ahead and move on. But most recently, we've dealt with Hurricane Ida.
Yes.
Not only here in Louisiana. I mean, it swept,
Yes,
through
along
the
the
east.
coast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, but once again, focusing on people in recovery during this time, what actually, you can answer both.
Okay.
Pandemic and Hurricane Ida, because I just thought about it, so we can tie them together. But what kind of trends have we been seeing with people in recovery as far as them maybe coming into treatment more, not coming into treatment at all, increased use? I mean, you kind of talked about it a little bit, for us the overdoses and whatnot. But at Capital Area, period, what kind of trends have we been seeing since dealing with the pandemic, since dealing with Hurricane Ida?
Right. So trends, I can tell you right now, in our residential treatment facility for males, our census is way down because of the coronavirus. People are afraid to get into a residential treatment facility, even though we have the mitigation practices. We do testing and we do isolation when people first come in, just to make sure that people are safe, and we test the staff and the clients. But we have seen that the census is really low there. With regard to groups, people may be afraid to sit in groups. Some people people actually prefer it, but people are afraid to sit into groups. So one of the things that we've had to do is pivot, like you talked about earlier, adjust ourselves and do teletherapy, and we do groups. You know, we have a HIPAA compliant Zoom account, and so people are able to participate in group therapy via Zoom. And so trends we've been seeing. So we typically talk about the opioid epidemic, but there's a twin epidemic going on, and I can tell you this: we've been seeing it not only anecdotally at Capital Area and some of our sister agencies and other community providers, but you can look at the research now. And there's been a sharp uptick in folks using stimulants. So cocaine and methamphetamines and things like that, we've been seeing a lot of that as well.
Yeah.
And so we just really want to be on guard for everyone so that we can support them in whatever they need.
Right. And so also tell me this, so like there's been a lot of money pumped into the economy, you know what I'm saying? And it's dispersed in many different ways, even down to us, everyday people. You
That's
know what I'm saying?
right.
And so
PPP,
stimulus, all kind of stuff. And so what challenges have we seen as a result of us getting money and people in recovery or trying to recover? What kind of challenges have we seen as a result of this?
And you can probably speak to this. Money can often be a trigger, right? And so people can be going along fine and be well-intentioned in their recovery and living a sober lifestyle. And money, reminds them that they now have the ability to go and purchase substances or to get into other things they didn't before. And we have even had Dr. Pete, who is our director of our residential facility, say that people would actually say to him, are you going to help us apply for unemployment? And he was like, no, we'll do that when you're getting ready to leave. And they were like, no, but I got to do this every week. And he was like, well, no, we'll do it. Okay, well, I'll see you later. You know, and we can't blame people for wanting to get the money that they're owed. But if they're sick, and meaning if their disease is uncontrolled, unmanaged right now, that money's not going to last long. And we hope that they live to collect that last check. Here's another thing that my clients taught me, and it was just so powerful to me. They said, every one of us in here, I was in an open 12-step meeting, says every one of us in here will use for the last time. But some of us will not live to talk about it. And so everybody can be promised another relapse. You can go out anytime and relapse, and as they say in the rooms, have your misery refunded, because it's going to go right back to where it was before. You're going to find out it's not different. I have not seen anybody, not once in 1998, who was happy about a relapse. Not one. And life immediately turned bad for many of them. Some of them, it took a little process depending on the substance. But everybody, two or one of them, found that life was bad. It was always better to be in recovery. So we hope those people who are putting off recovery because they can always do it, that they understand that there's a time limit. There's a time limit to it. One of my clients told me that when he was in recovery, and this might not be everybody, but it was so profound of him to say to me that it was just like suicide on an installment plan. Right? And that sat down in my spirit, right? And so we just want people to know that the disease progresses. It does not get worse better over time. It gets worse over time. So we want people to know that, your mind, your brain continues to get worse, and your body continues to break down. And so we urge people when they can to seek treatment.
And one thing they used to always say, hey, your disease is outside doing push-ups.
Waiting on you.
Stronger.
Waiting on you.
It's going to whoop your tail.
That's it. That's it.
And so let's talk a little bit more about Hurricane Ida, its impact. We're dealing with people in recovery, and so I know that here at Capital Area we have some efforts in regards to reaching out in the community and doing some different things. Can you talk more about what we are doing in regards to helping people in recovery during Hurricane Ida?
Absolutely. So, because Capital Area Human Services is under the umbrella of LDH, Louisiana Department of Health, we are obligated to respond to emergencies. So, when they set up the medical special needs shelter at the LSU Fieldhouse, we sent social workers, we sent our admin folks to go out there and support the evacuees who had medical special needs. And sometimes the medical special needs were mental health, mental illness, or it could have been folks who had addictive disorders and they needed medication-assisted treatment.
Yeah.
So even though our doctors and nurses, well, we did have some nurses to go, but even though our doctors didn't go, our doctors were on call. They consulted with folks, made sure that they can get prescriptions. We connected people back to treatment because a lot of people were coming outside of our region. You got to remember other regions were hit harder than we were.
Yeah.
So connecting them to resources at their home, but taking care of them while they were here. If it required somebody to be transported to our clinic to be seen, we did that as well.
Yeah.
And so the shelter was open from the 2nd of September until last Friday.
All right.
And so we closed those things down and transitioned out those last clients, but it was very challenging on the staff to maintain all of our operations here. You know, we do outpatient mental health, outpatient addiction recovery, and a residential program, developmental disabilities and prevention. So keeping all of that going but putting all of staff out in the community, that was extremely challenging, but we rose to the challenge, and I thank all the staff for doing that.
Awesome, awesome. So how we looking on time, Samia? 27, 21. So. All right, and we still live. Look, this, like, look, we, y'all riding along with us. That's what we doing. You heard me? But anyways, Doc, do you mind if we go? Can we come in your world for a second?
Absolutely.
All right. So you are managing a lot.
Yes.
Yes.
I've been tried by fire, bro. Tried by fire.
Yes,
Yeah.
I have no idea, honestly, but I know you have, but I still have no idea.
Yeah.
You know?
All right. So I took over March of 2020. What also hit us hard March of 2020, the pandemic.
Yeah.
I also had to move 5 clinics, and then the hurricanes, and then the pandemic resurged. So all of that in my tenure since March of 2020. Hello, world. Right?
So, what does Dr. Jan do to help with the pressures, the challenges, the stress, all those things like that? How do you keep your sanity? How do you maintain self-care and all those good things that we talk about on a day-to-day basis? How does Dr. Jan do that?
All right. So the wonderful part of being a therapist is, and you can probably identify Ivan because you're a peer and we work in this environment. Many of my friends and many of my coworkers are in the field of behavioral health, right? And so many of the people I talk to and vibe with on the daily are social workers, psychiatrists, psychologists, and you know we pull each other's coattails. You know, it's like, ma'am, you know, you all right, or you know, you look a little quart low. You look exhausted. Are you taking care of yourself?
Yeah.
And this is one that we always use, and I always go back to it. It's like, if you fly on the plane and they're giving you the pre-flight instructions, what did they tell you if you lose pressure in the cabin and the oxygen mask fall down? If you're with somebody else, if you're with an elderly person that needs care, or you with a child, what did they say? Put your mask on first. Yeah. So I try to make it a habit. And I'm not always good with this because many helpers are not good with self-care. But I try to put my mask on first. I try to keep my knife sharpened. My spirituality is very important to me. I have people, you know, I meditate, I pray. I have people who pray for me and pray with me. I have a very supportive family. My husband is very supportive to me. So just like I tell my clients that support is important in recovery, support is important in life. I mean, it is just something that we have to realize is just a principle in life. You look at out in the wilds on the Serengeti, right? You see this group of zebra, gazelles, whatever it is. They always stay in a pack. They stay in a group. Why? Because there's protection in that.
Yeah.
Who did the lions get? The one on the outside.
That's right.
The one that strays away just for a second. So we got to watch out for that.
That's real. That's what's up. No, that's awesome, Dr. Jen, because, I sometimes wonder, because when I see people under great amounts of work and pressure and all that kind of stuff, I mean, for one, it lets me know that this is a great person. You got to be, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to be. And but I always wonder, like, how does this person maintain, and somebody that we know, I won't call the whole name, but Ronaldo, I look at people like this, people who have a lot going on, and I'm like, how do they do it? You know what I'm saying? And in that alone time, when they're able to pull away from everything, how do they truly pull away and take care of self and deal with family still and all that? So, no, I think it's good to hear, because people can sometimes look and put on a pedestal, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And not knowing that, okay, this is a human being, at the end of the day.
Right.
A great human being who just has the capacity to take on a lot, but they still feel, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And so I think it's always good to know that this person does feel, and this is how they're managing.
Yeah, check on your strong friends.
Check
on your strong friends. Absolutely, absolutely, because we have frailties too, and we give out so much and don't get back a lot sometimes if we're not very intentional about it. Strong people, strong folks, do not get upset over folks when they don't give you things that you have not asked for. I mean, you can, because you got a right to your feelings, but you don't legitimately have a leg to stand on if you haven't told people what they need, what you need. Because if your crew is really for you, they'll pull up and stand up with you. And that's important in life and recovery.
That's real.
Ask people for what you need, and if they love you and if they are down for you, they'll give it to you.
Are you familiar with the Enneagram?
The what?
Enneagram. It's kind of like a personality.
Yes.
Have you ever took that
I
test?
have not.
All right. I'm just interested to know what your number is. I think you're a 2.
You think so?
You're a 2. Yeah. Just based on some things you take, I'm like, I think Dr. Jen might be a 2.
I'll go take it.
Yeah, please take it.
So I can
Please
tell
take
you.
it.
So I
I'm
can
a 6. Once you read it, you'll know more about the 6. It fits me to the T.
Gotcha.
But I think you might be a 2.
All right.
I could be wrong, but anywho, hey, look. This has been great.
It has.
I wish we could keep going.
Yes, me too.
But unfortunately, we got to go.
Yeah, we do.
Yes, that's right. So we got to get out of the area. We have stepped into the area. Now we're about to leave the area and go to another area because we got work to do. It's Friday, but we still got work to do. You
That's right. Never stop.
That's right. Oh, that was my keys, but I'll get that later. So anyways, look. We want to thank y'all for stepping into the area, man. Look, this has been a great day. Once again, man, thank you, Dr. Jan, for stepping into the area with us. I mean, she is the area. We are all the area. You are the area, too. You know what I'm saying? We all represent this thing because we are like-minded individuals. All we want to do is help people who are dealing with mental health and substance abuse and gain a better life and manage things. You know what I'm saying? All that kind of good stuff. Yeah. Anyways, I'm rambling, so we're about to get on out of here. And look, y'all have a good day, man. Happy Friday. See y'all later.
Friday, bye-bye.
I say happy Friday, but just
it ain't
it
gonna
may
be
not
Friday.
even be released on Friday.
Yeah.
Anyways, bye,
Happy
y'all.
whatever day it is.